Welcome this week, guys, to the Heavens Demons podcast, episode 3. I was gonna say episode 36.
It is 36.
It is 36. I fucked up last week. Said 34.
I thought it was 35.
No,
last week was
35. He said 34.
Numbers. It's a lot of
that came
numbers
on
in my
because
head.
it's my father's favorite number.
Wait, what's his favorite number?
35.
35?
Yeah.
Well,
Well, thank you.
Saying you only came on because it's your...
One of the reasons.
One of the reasons?
Yeah.
I mean, to you could be 35.
yeah. To us, it'll just be. I mean, it's all how you look at it.
Okay.
It's all perspective. But we have a guest this week, guys. If you want to introduce yourself.
Hello, my name is Daniel Mata. I run Return of the Goods and I sell vintage clothing.
Oh,
It's a solid intro. Solid intro.
I can, yeah.
He's I'm a Capricorn. I like
Yeah.
long walks on the
I'm
beach.
a Cancer. I'm needy.
I was going to say, he's either Cancer or Leo because when he said his birthday was in July off camera.
Yeah.
I figured he was Cancer.
You're a Cancer. I get that vibe.
Thank you.
But usually we do these, we start the podcast and we do a weekend recap.
hmm
I want to put it over to you. How was your weekend? What'd you do this weekend?
To be honest, all I did was just relax, hang out with good friends, watch some really good movies that made me think about life.
Always good.
And take time to reflect. That's about it.
Because I would say usually almost every weekend you're either at a different location at pop-ups, right?
Yeah. This weekend and next weekend, I decided to just take a break and do some self-reflecting and focus more on myself, other than the clothing behind me.
Oh, I didn't even notice that was there.
Oh wow!
Oh, wow.
That's,
Jesus.
that's a new background.
Oh, my
Yeah.
God.
Oh my God, is that Santana?
Yeah.
I'll be honest.
Is that Santana? Yeah.
This shirt's wicked.
I love
Yeah.
that shirt. It's a heart. Yeah.
We might have to keep that for the
Might,
podcast.
I know.
For the studio.
Might have to keep that as a gift. I don't know if we could claim our own gifts, but
No, not yet. It's going to be available. Actually, this music collection, is going to be available April 14th at Finders Keepers record store.
in La Quinta.
Yeah, in La
La Quinta.
Quinta.
In Old Town La Quinta.
Yeah.
I'm assuming you're doing it that weekend because that's the first weekend of Coachella.
Yes.
Like, well, it's music themed, so why not be the same weekend as the festival?
Yeah, I'm going to take advantage over the incoming crowd that's here for Coachella. Obviously, this is more for the community as well, but I'm just going to intertwine it together, get some light to Finders Keepers record store,
Yeah.
and let him have some foot traffic, and just bring something that's pretty rare to the community out here, and it's having a music collection that we normally don't get to see.
Mm-hmm. I respect it. I like it.
I like it. I mean, everybody wants band tees, and they're so hard to fucking find.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
As somebody that used to thrift a lot,
Mm-hmm.
you could come across them, and usually though you only find like a small or a medium. Oh, it's always never your size when you start thrifting. It's always when you thrift for yourself is when you find nothing.
Yeah.
But when you go with zero expectations, zero like I'm not strategically trying to find something, is when you'll find good shit.
Yeah. It's like that sometimes.
I have a
a
question. Why is it always that it's the old vintage shirts that have like good, like the blanks are so good they hold up over time? Because I feel like I've bought newer tees, and they're always like on very like cheap. Like I feel like shirts are gonna fall apart very quick.
I don't know. I think it was just the manufacturers who made blanks back in the day. They just actually cared about their garments, not like now.
Now it's just more like quantity.
Yeah, because how everything's really fast right now with everybody making their own prints, everybody making
Hate those guys.
their
Fuck
own
those guys.
their own brands.
By the way, Heaven's Demon store is now open.
I'm not
Oh.
against it, but
Yeah.
I just feel like there's some designs out there that shouldn't be made, and I end up seeing them every day at the thrift store. And
That's tough.
They're there for a reason.
yeah,
I mean, these I feel always have a story behind them of like who the person was. You could tell if they took care of their clothes. You could tell if they wore it every day. Like that Sublime shirt, I know that whoever had that shirt mowed their lawn with that on.
yeah,
Like they've experienced life. Like this one's like mint condition.
Yeah.
Like maybe worn twice.
This was his baby.
Yeah, and it's always like what we do with our shirts. We distress, we soften to get that first like that structure of the tee and like actually give some flexibility to it to where it could shape yourself. Somebody's already done that for you.
yeah, and that's like the beauty about it too. when you find something that's already worn in, find something that's already distressed in, it just feels better on the body. And
It sits better.
Yeah, I'm a big person, so a lot of the XLs and 2Xs really don't fit me as well. So, but if it's a 2X that's been very, very heavily worn, it's gonna fit me right.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not the slimmest body, but it just some shirts out
Just
there
more
just
of you
feel.
to love.
Yeah, yeah. There's more room.
He's all, you damn right.
You're damn
Yeah.
right.
So,
Yeah, no, I completely agree. And funny enough, like I said, I used to thrift a lot. And when you started up with your Instagram, I believe you messaged me through it. Either you sent it through your personal page, which I don't know if you want people to know your personal page, but either way, you had posted about it. People reposted it, and like bought. I can't remember the first shirt I bought off of you. Do you know the first shirt I bought off of you? Because I bought so much.
No, it was.
That wasn't the same day I bought the Alkaline
No,
Trio
no,
shirt.
it wasn't.
I don't think it was.
No,
You had
that was.
Well, oh, it might have been the same day, but I was there to get a different shirt. Or you pulled up to give me a different shirt.
I think it was a crew neck.
It might have been a crew neck.
Yeah, it was a crew neck to some college.
Yeah.
I don't.
It wasn't Georgetown. The Georgetown one I picked up at.
Yeah, that was later.
That was later. But I remember just seeing your trunk full of shit and you're like, oh, I just picked up some, and like, bro, when I tell you guys, like, he'd have to reach to the back of the trunk and start ripping through clothes to like move around, shift to the side, and I'm looking, and like to see everything that you had, the different sizes, the different colors, the different everything. I'm like, so I was like, so you're trying to resell these like as a business? You're like, yeah, I'm selling them and doing it for a fair price. Like I go on Poshmark all the time, and I'll see like some people upcharging for the same type of shirts, and I was like, well, fuck, if this is what you're doing, this saves me a bunch of time. Like, this saves me days from having to go through my normal route of hitting the thrift stores. Like, I just hit you up, or whenever you post something.
Yeah.
Like, what made you want to get into it? Because we went to middle school, elementary school together, and I've never known you to wear vintage clothes.
No, yeah. It all started in the summer of 2020. I had a life-death experience. I got bit by a black widow, and I was in the hospital, and I started to think, and I started to just reflect on who was still talking to me, who was still being my friend at that time when I really needed somebody, and to find out that it was really nobody, because nobody can come and visit me. Nobody really knew that I was in the hospital. It was during the...
Oh, COVID.
Yeah, it was during COVID.
Oh, shit, I didn't think about that.
And my mom had to sneak in because she works at Eisenhower. So she would just sneak in and see me for a couple minutes, and then she'll just be gone for the rest of the day and went off to go to work. And it just made me really think about that. You only have yourself in life. And yeah, I have a son, but it made me feel really alone by myself when I was just laying there. And I took antibiotics for a whole month after me being in the hospital for the black widow bite, and the whole month of June I was on antibiotics, and then July came around. I did some extracurriculars, went on a hike, and I took something, and I got to see a different light. And basically, I saw a boulder, and the boulder spoke to me in a way without cartoon mouth or without a cartoon eyes.
It wasn't animated.
No, it just more of a feeling. And the boulder basically said to me, I've been here way before you, and I'm going to be here after you. And I felt that, and I kind of told myself that I need to leave an impression of myself on Earth, because what I've been doing so far hasn't been really good for me. So I stayed away from my friends that drink a lot. I stayed away from a lot of negative things.
And you yourself, like, you stopped drinking and you stopped going out, right?
Yeah, I did all that. And it wasn't because I had an issue with it. It was just that it was a distraction where I want to be. And the more and more I focused on thrifting, the more it made me realize that my time could be used up very wisely. And the feeling that I get when I do sell some of these garments to people, it feels really, really good, because I feel like they're picking a little bit of an identity, you know? Because I like this shirt because it's all over print. It was one of the first all over print shirts that I ever saw. I always wanted it completely, just fell in love with it as soon as I saw it, and as soon as I found it, I bought it at any cost, and it cost me $160. Now this shirt's worth $200 to $300 at times. And do I sell that? No, I don't sell none of that. So I like to sell things that are very affordable. And this Santana shirt right here, it's practically still new. It's from 1999. Liquid blue, white tag. Those are the tags that a lot of people want. I'm selling this shirt for $75 to $80 when it goes for $120.
Jesus.
So that's what I like to provide to my community out here. And yeah, that's pretty much it.
Yeah, access to grails, like, because you can go on StockX, you could go to Round 2, you could go to all these other places, not even to factor in whether it's the shipping for it to get there, if it even gets there, and two, the drive to get to these places to do that. You're the middleman of, like, this is what I got.
Yeah.
Like, it's almost like hunter-gathering type of shit of, like, you go out to all these, you're known to go to Nevada, to Arizona, to San Diego, everywhere, to just thrift.
Yeah.
And to bring back whatever you find from these other places.
Yeah, not only do I bring back, these T-shirts, I bring back a story, I bring back an experience, I bring back a relationship that meeting somebody and hearing them why they're into it, and they're hearing my story and they think it's really, really cool. And, there are some people out there that don't really feel my story, they don't really like my story, but it's okay. I have my own lane, they do. I'm nowhere near a collector. I'm never going to be a collector, don't want to be a collector. I'd rather just give it to the people and giving, these garments a second chance.
Yeah, you're a giver, you're a recycler.
Yeah.
Eco-friendly.
Yeah, and with this fast fashion and, people making these shirts with just horrible graphics.
And on bullshit blinks.
Yeah, on bullshit
blinks are the big one. That's the biggest thing for me.
Shrink after one wash. And, you get bacon neck out of it.
Hate those.
A lot of this, a lot of these fast fashion, a lot of these garments end up in just landfills. They end up in other countries.
Oh, yeah.
That just take over so much body of land. And I don't think that's fair at all. And I know it's never going to stop. But what this spike of vintage actually did was actually hurt businesses that do sell those blank garments. People who actually enjoy Pro Club, Shakas, they've actually taken a hit from it. And there's a local business here in Indio that I would like to speak on. It was called QTs, but now it became Beautiful Tees, or Beautiful, right?
Beautiful, yeah.
Beautiful. They're actually closing up shop, I think this week or next week.
I saw that.
Yeah.
And me personally, I went there growing up. Everybody that I knew.
Everybody went there. If you're in India, if you went, there's no matter what part of India you're from, you went there.
Yeah, and a lot of people and a lot of good stories came out of that place because you would have to want to look good every Friday. It was cheap. You
had some money, you buy a 3-pack.
Yeah. You look good for the weekend and right back to work or right back to school. And
find some dickies.
Unfortunately, I talked to the owner and I told him that I would like to apologize because I feel like I'm a little bit of responsible because of the lack of people walking in here.
Right.
Because now this is in every single school. I have tons and tons of kids from high schools coming and buying, my T-shirts. And I don't really see anybody wearing Pro Clubs. I don't see anybody wearing the striped, shorts, the high socks. And I know times need to change, but when we went to school, that's practically what everybody saw.
That's pretty much all it was.
We all looked
very similar.
Yeah, we all looked similar. And if we gangbanged, if we just skated, if we...
everybody looked eerily similar.
Yeah, everybody...
Didn't really... And that was the problem. Like, people, like... I didn't gangbang. None of my friends really did.
Yeah.
But, like, because we all look so much alike, we'd always get confused. And it's like... Hey, bro, I ain't from nowhere, bro.
Yeah, even the taggers had their own...
The skaters.
Their own look, but what separated them was hats.
That was what I was saying, like, the signifier was the hat you wore, whether a specific baseball team, and the embroidery that you got. Because QTs did that, too. Like, you can embroider your hood, rest in peace to whoever, your name, whatever. They didn't... I think it wasn't until recently they stopped doing that.
Yeah, they did.
Because of gangs.
Because of gangs, like all the gang violence that would happen. But back in the day, like you'd have people with their hats repping their sets on. They'd be like, and when I think that probably hurt their business a little bit too.
But also that did also hurt our culture and our community.
Yeah,
so
our community.
I mean, yes, I could see why you could feel some type of way and maybe have some guilt towards that.
Yeah.
But I don't think you should feel too bad because I see the direction we're going in the community, and I don't think that's anything to be ashamed of.
Yeah. It's hard to see something that you grew up going to, you know, like seeing my older friends going there and always wondering like, yo, where are these guys getting these clean tees from? Because the ones at Sears, the ones at Gottschalk's, the ones at Factory to You,
Yeah,
they wouldn't do it.
They're not.
they weren't cutting it at all for me.
Yeah.
You know, and salute to my mom for buying me Anchor Blue with the double
Hell
shirts
yeah.
on the
Oh
bottom.
shit!
You know?
Anchor Blue, when you go to the Indio Mall, my dad we'd go to Anchor Blue, get some jeans, some shirts, then we go right down to the shoe store, get some K-Swiss, maybe,
K-Swiss.
perhaps.
Hey, and end the day with the fucking ice cream.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
And
if
then
you're
get
lucky,
old-fashioned ice
if
cream.
you're lucky, you had an ice cream.
Hey,
Yeah.
I swear to God, that might be some of the best ice cream ever. I don't know what they make it with. It looks like a very simple machine, but it hits.
Probably is. It's
It's called
the
love.
Yeah, the love, just like generations of
Yeah.
people doing it. Like that ice cream parlor has been there before we were born.
Yeah,
Oh yeah.
and I think
And that's what's keeping Indio Mall alive.
Yeah.
I swear. Them in the jewelry store.
them in the jewelry store is keeping that mall alive.
Yeah,
But it's sad to see stuff from your childhood leave. Like, when I saw people posting that, I was like, that's fucking crazy. Because not only, I mean, for a majority of people our age, our demographic would go in there for Pro Clubs, Dickies, even the belts with our initials on them,
Yeah.
the hats, get them embroidered. But there was people that would get their uniforms there. My mom would buy
Yeah.
like the pants, uniform pants.
Yeah.
Because when I went to Dr. Caron, we had to wear uniforms, and then there'd be people getting actual scrubs from there. There'd be fucking that's where women would buy their fajas before like before you could buy it on Amazon. Like
Yeah.
I would say Amazon hurt that business more than anything.
Yeah.
And, like a lot of small businesses because it's like, you know, I could buy whatever I want off of Amazon. It'll get here in 2 days. Like Jeff Bezos works harder than the devil, and versus going
Still
to
not harder than Kris Jenner.
QTs. Versus going to QTs, like they may not have your size or they may not have the color you're looking for.
Yeah.
Like I remember walking in and always laughing because right when you walk in the doors where they had the fake ass pants, like the fake ass shorts,
yeah,
and you go to the left is like try to get to where you need to get to. So it's just the sign of the times.
yeah, yeah. That's what it is, and there's gonna be a time that this is gonna go away.
It's gonna be outphased.
Because of the masses that are, wearing it now. And for me, as a person who appreciates more of the art than, the shirt trying to make me look cool, because it took a human to make this graphic. It took a human to print it, or to screen print it. It took a human to just sell it. It took a human to buy it. It took a human to lose the love in it and put it in the thrift store, put it at a yard sale, or put it in the trash. And it takes that that person who has love for that and try to bring it right back into that cycle. And that's what I'm doing as best as I could, because it's very hard to get these garments, like extremely hard. And I'm not saying I picked all these things. No, I've picked some things that were high ticket items, and I took them to collectors, and I traded, and I traded, and I traded, and I traded. And I'm never going to take the credit that I picked all these things, because sometimes it's impossible that you're going to pick all these things, because I'm not a full-time thrift head,
Yeah.
I have a 40-hour job. I have a son, and it would be very, very hard if I wanted to pick all these things by myself. So I'm glad that I'm in the community and built relationships with people who actually help me out and see what I see and believe in what I believe in, because not every day someone's going to want to trade a Sublime shirt for something. Not every day someone's going to trade their Britney Spears, their Grateful Dead, Ricky Martin, La Vida Loca, and a Pink Floyd.
Yeah.
And you have to just treat people right to get what you want. It's a given, and they're gonna get what they want from me. I'm gonna get what they want from them, and it's just that cycle's just gonna keep on going.
Do you feel like as a small business owner you've had times like not fighting the community, but fighting maybe certain demographics or certain people and like the type of business you do, or being accepted into certain,
Or having to educate.
Yeah.
that's a big thing too.
Yeah.
Because you can. I think that was the first thing I noticed when I went to the garage out of where you're selling out of. I was like, the fact that the knowledge you had on every single piece.
Yeah.
For me, that's what right away I was like,
Yeah.
oh, that's cool.
Yeah, and I'm not gonna lie. A lot of the information got away from me, because I was so consumed in trying to get so much inventory
Yeah.
so many items, so many, units that, I kind of drifted away from that. And I'm trying to start to get back into that groove again where I'm starting to do a lot of the research. Like, obviously music is music. I was, practically raised by a DJ. So I know a lot about this at the top of my head. I'm not going to...
About Carrie Underwood?
No, that's more my sister knowing. And I had to ask her who that woman is.
Ain't anything wrong with that?
Yeah.
I mean, I look at American Idol stuff, and it brings me to my childhood of like watching it with my family.
Yeah.
Like that's how we would eat dinner and watch American
Yeah.
Idol.
Yeah.
Like people forget how impactful like the early seasons of American Idol were.
Yeah.
When fucking Ruben Studdard and Clay Aiken and
Kelly Clarkson,
Fantasia, and like all these names.
Fantasia.
Like that was something that's a part of your culture. Like even if half the songs that they're singing we probably don't even know.
No, we don't. But we just remember that moment that brought everybody together to enjoy something that was fresh, something that was new.
Yeah.
Now it's considered old, but I'm trying to give it a nice little rebirth, to someone, because I don't know who's gonna walk in and come to the pop up that I'm gonna have and just pick up this shirt, and I want to know, hey, why did you pick that up? And they're gonna give me their personal story, or they're just gonna say they like it. And
they like the shirt.
That's perfectly fine with me.
But like that too, what you're saying, like who's to say like, oh, like their sister's like the hugest like Carrie Underwood fan, like that's gonna be a good surprise.
I've heard that a lot about different sports teams that I have, different just different shirts in general. Like people always have some connection to it. Like me, I love Godzilla. I try to find Godzilla tees for me and my son, and I'm very successful in it. And starting to teach him what I used to watch, or just show him what I watch, and teach him like, yo, you don't really need to be watching these cartoons. So, especially the cartoons now. I would love for him to keep on watching the cartoons that I grew up watching.
I'm gonna do the same thing with my kids. If they're gonna watch, the first things they're gonna watch is the same cartoons I grew up on. When I felt like, right when you know the pitch of music when they're about to teach you a life lesson.
Yeah.
Like even with like even Grounded for Life, they taught you life lessons, and it was just a comedy.
Yeah.
But like Malcolm in the Middle,
Yeah.
when you think of fucking
Malcolm in the Middle.
yeah, Growing Pains, or like
Growing
just
Pains is good.
like all these shows, they taught you something. You walked away learning something.
Yeah. X-Files.
Yeah. Even then, I think that's why we have so many conspiracy theorists our age, is because of fucking X-Files.
Yeah.
Even though it was a terribly like graphics terrible.
Yeah.
You watch it back like this is unwatchable.
Yeah.
But that wasn't the point of the show.
That wasn't the point of the show. The point of the show was you to question that there's shit out there that you
Yeah.
don't know about.
Yeah, and I still don't know.
Ooh, I don't think we ever will in our lifetime.
It's not. Hey, how about this? It's not for us to know.
Yeah, if you don't watch the last season, it never ended.
Hey.
That's a great way of looking at it.
I
Yeah.
didn't watch the last season because I don't want it to end.
That's a great way of looking at
I
it.
did that mistake with Breaking Bad.
I love that ending though. I think that's probably one of the few finales I actually liked was Breaking
Oh, not
Bad.
Breaking Bad. Sopranos.
Oh, The Sopranos.
That's what it was.
Fernie's trying to get me to watch. I haven't watched The Sopranos,
No,
which
Sopranos
is a
is-
shock. It was a shock to him, but
Yeah.
I just because I didn't grow up having HBO,
Oh,
so I wasn't able to watch it. Now I have HBO Max, but now I'm just being like, I don't need it. I've made it this far.
Yeah, I've gone through life without watching Sopranos. I don't need it.
Yeah, I don't need I already heard the gabagool expression. I don't need. It's not gonna it's not gonna hit me the same, you know.
Nah, no, I won't.
But I was gonna say, to go back to what you were talking about of like you don't want to take credit for picking these shirts, but you went on a tangent about like somebody drew that, somebody screen printed that, somebody, and it's not always the same person that did that.
yeah, no. it's
But
not.
there's several people that are a part of this shirt story, and you're a part of this shirt story.
Yeah,
To let like everybody has like their hand. It crossed so many hands before it got to yours, and after you, it's gonna cross even more hands. Like who's to say the person that you sell it,
yeah.
they wear it, they pass it to somebody
That's
else.
what I think about all the time.
You're a part of that garment's journey.
That's what I think about all the time. Last year, 2021, I think I probably sold close to like 1,000 garments. But these are not expensive garments, like $5, $10 shirts, $25 shirts. I'm always wondering where those shirts gonna end up.
Where they're at now.
Where they're at now.
On my clothing rack.
Or where, like what? Like I thought I knew where the last destination was for the shirt.
Yeah.
But it's still going. It's still going. That feels good. Knowing,
It's gonna go on for longer than you will.
Yeah, it feels good knowing that, because I know 100% I'm never gonna get rid of the shirt. Never, because it impacted my interest so much that I just wanted something liquid blue, and this is a liquid blue T-shirt. It's licensed and dated
Somewhere.
Yeah, somewhere.
Oh, there it is. I see it.
1993. The Santana is also a liquid blue, and those are like those vibrant graphics that everybody loves, and that's what liquid blue is known for.
That's soft.
Yeah.
In a weird, not in a weird way, but in a way you probably even realize is this is a tangible thing of what you learned from speaking to the boulder.
Yeah.
This shirt was here before you, and it's
Yeah.
gonna be here after you.
Yeah, I'm glad you just made me realize that.
Like all these shirts. Like I mean, it was 90. You said 99, but this shirt was in existence before you knew it was in existence.
Yeah.
Like that. Some of these shirts were created before you were even born, and they're gonna be here after you because you may never get rid of that shirt.
Yeah.
But one day you're not gonna be here, and that shirt's gonna have to go somewhere.
Yeah.
And there's going to be another estate sale. There's going to be a huge donation to Martha's Village.
Hey, he's all, nah, my shit's going up in the rafters.
Yeah.
No, you're like, I'm going to have a second coffin.
Yeah.
And my whole personal collection is going with me.
Hey, that would be fly.
Yeah. Yeah, that is true. You can't really take everything with you.
Not at all.
And a lot of the shirts that I do find are also from estate sales, and it just kind of feels bad. Then it just reminds me that when I do pick for these things or look for these things, that it possibly somebody passed away, and you know they had a passion. They had a passion for Santana. They had a passion for Grateful Dead. You know, Britney Spears, Sublime, and like you just said with the relating back to the boulder. It's just never ending. It just keeps on going. It's just a cycle.
Yeah.
And we have to all wear clothes, and I know there's a certain community that doesn't wear clothes.
It's very small.
Very small, but
it's not as big as it once was, but it's a very small community.
Yeah, and I hope these things still last 20 plus years, because that's what makes vintage in a way, that it has to have a 20-year gap. And I really hope that these do last another 20, another 30 years.
I mean, it always circles back.
Yeah.
But the beautiful thing about the times we live in is the consumer, if they're not educated, they could be educated. The information's there. And this is a very great way to practice sustainability. Like what you were saying about fast fashion, that's the worst thing that is for our environment.
Yeah.
It pollutes so much at a high rate.
same thing with fast food.
Exactly.
Oh, yeah.
And you just ate fast food before you came here.
Like
No,
I said,
I didn't. No,
I'm about to say, you bastard.
No,
you're part of the problem.
You're part of the problem. But
No.
with this, like, you're helping the environment. Like, it is something to be said about, like, people complain about the paper straws. Like, is my paper straw really hurting the ozone?
Yeah.
No, but do you want to continue to be a part of the problem? Even though you're not maybe solving it, you're not a part of the problem anymore. There's two sides to it. There's gray areas, but you're either part of the problem or you're part of the solution.
There's always has to be a start. And we're at the start of a lot of people recycling. We're at the start of a lot of things changing, because we already went through it, and obviously it just shows that it wasn't the right way. And either it is or isn't. Someone's saying it isn't. And someone wants us to drink out of or use paper straws, and so be it. Because at the end of the day, we're not going to have the last word in that.
No.
Yeah.
That's somebody else. And I think if people dwell on those things, of those little things, nothing's really going to get solved.
People like to bitch a lot.
Yeah.
And complain like, oh, my straw dissolves before I even finish my drink. Well, drink faster. I don't know what to tell you. Or take the fucking lid off.
Yeah, I was like, don't use. They just don't use a straw. Period.
Yeah, take the straw off. Like, now they make lids to where it's strawless.
Yeah.
There's a hole right there.
Yeah.
You don't need the straw. Like, as a kid, we had a drawer, like, obviously for silverware.
Yeah.
But there was a second drawer with fucking
Straws,
sauces, straws.
ketchup packets.
And why do we have this? And I would tell my parents, like, why do we need this many sauce packets from Del Taco?
Yeah.
And they're like, well, just in case.
It's
Well,
just-
and why does and I tell
I've
them
always
too, like,
said the
why
same
does
thing.
this sauce last so long? It can't be good.
Yeah.
But of course, when you're 10, 11, 13 years old, asking questions, shut the fuck up, you don't know anything.
Yeah.
What are you even talking about? It's like, but it's a real ass question you gotta ask yourself. Why does the sauce last so long? Like,
And why are they not giving us more than they used to?
Yeah.
I forgot. You said a comment right now. It's hilarious. We can't say it on camera,
Yeah.
but now I can't get it out of my head.
No, we're talking about sauce packets.
That
how
they don't give you
anymore.
enough. Yeah, they don't give you a lot.
Yeah. They don't give
Like,
us
why are
enough.
they so stingy with the sweet and sour sauce now? Were you big? Or okay,
Is it pandas?
or sweet and sour is
Sour-
from McDonald's.
McDonald's.
Oh, no.
They're
I
like,
don't eat
whenever
that.
you get chicken nuggets, you either choose the barbecue or the sweet and sour. I was sweet and sour.
You
was a
know the thing
barbecue
too
house.
that they ask, like, oh, how many packets do you want?
Yeah.
And most of the time, if it's like more than like 3 or 4, like I've heard it before. Like, are you sure? I've heard them
Yeah.
say it.
Back in the day, my mom would just say, "Oh, just a handful."
Yeah, that was Taco Bell. Not Taco Bell. That was Del Taco
Del
special.
Taco.
Yeah, just a handful.
Just
Just.
you know, that was.
And we only used 2.
That's what I
Yeah.
mean. It makes no sense.
They would give you so much, and now, oh, there we go. I see what you're trying to do with it. You trying to freak it on the podcast. Here, let me hold this thing. I hit a chord with you, obviously, with the fast food.
I'm on these Del Taco packets really got me riled up.
But remember, like the macho fries and the super size
Yeah.
me, and like, dude, I remember getting the huge ass fucking macho cups
Yeah.
full of fries.
Yeah.
And killing it by myself. I mean, I still could to this
Yeah.
day, but it's good that
Easily.
they don't give us that option anymore. Like,
I wish they didn't.
you wish they didn't.
Yeah, because I would have been a stallion still.
Hey,
Hey, you still could. You still could.
If you still had exercise regularly like you did.
Crazy
you were
thought.
clear-
Crazy thought.
Crazy thought. Go outside more.
Yeah.
Yeah. Then build up that metabolism, and you very much could be a stallion
Yeah,
again.
I'll stop picking for the community and I'll just focus more on my health.
You should.
You should.
Nobody told you not to. You thought we were gonna fight you on that?
Nobody told you not
Hey,
to do that.
Hey, my guy, if you did half of what you did last year, but that means you are healthier mentally and physically going on, I'd be like, you've won. You've mastered this because now you don't gotta dedicate all your time to it.
Yeah.
Because and that's the one thing too. It's like a small business owner. I'm sure we've come across everybody that owns a business, or even just regular everyday employees, like that work-life balance,
Yeah.
and it gets to you.
It does. Yeah, it does. It really does. Right now I'm in between of trying to figure out more time for myself, and then not focusing more on this. But I'm still gonna keep on doing this, and until.
You,
yeah.
Is it a thing of like you just need maybe better organization or better like, okay, I know these times are going to be to do this, and if I can get the rest done, cool. If not, it's going to be until the next time I go.
I need to be more organized.
Yeah.
And I think everybody should try to be. I'm not gonna, promote everybody needs to, but I think everybody should just try to. And I'm starting to see that it's very helpful. And all those times that they had us in school making agendas, making this, making that, I didn't pay attention. I wish I did.
I remember.
all of us having ADD.
I
How could
remember.
we?
Yeah, I remember those little like in the middle, the little black ones, the little agendas we have.
Yeah.
And I used to laugh at those. I was like, why the fuck do I want a calendar in my fucking backpack?
Yeah.
I have a fucking
Yeah.
calendar on my desk over there.
Yeah.
And
You
if,
get in trouble if you didn't have it.
yeah, and if
Yeah.
I don't have that, bro, like I was without like the first week, and I'm like, I'm gonna go insane. I need a calendar. I need to like kind of map
You
it
need a
out.
planner. You need, what was it? The Tiger something.
Oh, I didn't go to.
Oh,
fuck.
when we went into
Not
middle,
the
you went to
Tiger book,
Wilson.
like the.
Of course, they didn't have a planner for you guys. School no longer exists.
You're lucky they gave you paper at that.
Hey,
school.
that school, it was there before you. It's not here after.
Yeah. Amistad's rocking it now.
Yeah, Amistad
Yeah.
took over.
Yeah, I'm an eagle.
Got your
But
sloppy seconds.
but it was like you'd get in trouble if you didn't have it. Like
It's
you'd have to
something-
bring it every day, and you at least had to pretend to write something in it.
Oh, I pretended a lot.
Yeah.
It was just.
Fake it till you make it. That's a good lesson
yeah,
school taught you.
There was nothing on that thing that told me that I needed to do.
Yeah.
Now I regret not focusing more on it because it kind of puts your mind at ease. It just makes things a little bit more easier, and it actually works. It actually does work.
Structure's there for a
Yeah.
reason. I understand people at times are like just like go with the flow, and as things should be. Like hiccups are always gonna happen, but you can feel good about hiccups like coming if you have the rest of your shit kind of already structured. Because like what's like wouldn't it be like the worst thing of like you have to go out of town to go to go pick up like a bundle or something of new thrift, and like flat tire, okay, that takes out 2 hours of your day
I
now.
haven't thought about that.
Like think about okay, but that's what I mean. Like being more structured and stuff you could be like, you know what, fuck
Yeah.
it. Today's gonna
And
be a
then-
wash, but I have the next day to do
Yeah,
it.
and then when those hurdles come about,
Doesn't
and
feel
they
as bad.
reveal themselves, it's not going to be as bad. But if they, if they end up happening and you're not prepared for it, and that goes along as insurance, AAA, that goes along with just like timing. You're going to get stuck in traffic, and then
Absolutely.
now you got this flat tire. it makes those big problems seem very little.
Yes.
Like extremely little.
Yeah, control what you can control. You can't control if you hit a nail or something in your tire pops. But you can control whether you've rotated your tires, whether you've bought new tires.
Oh, man.
Change your brakes.
Change the brakes for the love of God.
Dude, I'm not lying. There was a person, I can't say who, but not too long ago that didn't know they needed to.
They probably lived in Coachella.
Close. But they didn't know they needed to change out, like they just think like the brake pad's going to be good their whole life.
What?
Yeah. The disc will probably be all right. I was like, oh, no.
No. Like, do people know?
I was petrified.
Also, change the rotors.
Yeah.
Oh.
That's true.
Change your rotors. I recommend getting slotted rotors just because they last longer. But
I'm gonna keep agreeing.
It's just the maintenance and the upkeep. Like, nobody's perfect.
Yeah.
No.
But if you always keep that in your head and you don't write it down, you're gonna get overwhelmed constantly because you're just one thought after another. But if you have a planner, like Arturo said, and you map it out, it's like, oh, it's not that bad.
Nah.
Like, oh, this could be solved with a phone call. This could be done online. This could be scheduled. Okay, while I'm here getting my new tires put on, I could be, researching or doing whatever, or I could just not do anything.
Yeah.
It's the visualization of it, and that's a step to like executing and getting it done efficiently.
So
if not, you'll never get it done.
Is that the direction you think you're going to go in this coming year? It's just like more structure?
Yeah, more structure, more obviously focusing more on myself because, people are just naturally selfish. And I feel like I haven't been selfish in the past 2 years since Return of the Goods, started.
I would say you've been almost out every weekend, like at different. And it'd be one thing if you did like one pop up one weekend. You've done multiple pop ups in the same weekend.
Multiple pop ups in the same day.
I was like, that's a lot.
Yeah, I've done two pop ups in one day, and it was a total of 12 hours. It started at 6th Street Coffee from like 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. And then the next one started like right the next hour from 3 to 9, and it was like a Super Bowl. It was like a Super Bowl. I don't know what it was.
It was a Super Bowl, basically a party.
Yeah, like a community gathering.
Watch party.
Yeah, watch party.
It was at the Food Container Park in Coachella.
Yeah, right across the street from Coachella Bar.
Yeah.
And that whole day, it took a toll on me, and when I looked at the money in my pocket, it didn't really bring any happiness to me at all. Like,
don't you think if you had half of what you got that day, but the rest half of the day you're with your son, like you would have probably felt a lot better.
It would have been way better. But my mother was watching him that weekend. As much as I wanted her to come, it's very hard for her. She lives in DHS, and
gas prices through the roof. Can't do it now.
At then the gas prices were lovely, but now they're just pretty bad.
They're atrocious now. Hey, Biden, Joe, fix it. Fuck.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
That's the oil company's business, not mine. But
Nah. They could do some.
Yeah, and
I think.
Yeah,
Probably not.
If I did have that time, if I didn't agree to that other pop up an hour after the one that just finished, I would have enjoyed my day way more than making all that money.
It would have been different if you just showed up as like as a guest.
Yeah.
Like if you went to the Super Bowl party and just you weren't selling anything, you were just buying food and watching the game.
Yeah.
But for me, watching you and like how you interact with every single person, for me I'd be socially drained after every day because it's too much interaction for me. Like my social battery would be gone.
Yeah.
But also like for you I can tell you genuinely have a passion for educating people on why they should love this shirt. And like origin.
Yeah, I'm not trying to convince them to buy it.
No. But they obviously gravitated towards that shirt, and you want to educate them on the backstory because, like Arturo was saying earlier, like it's cool. It shows you know what you're talking about, and you put the time in to research that, and that's something of like somebody could just like that Britney tee, but you're like, do you know that this was only manufactured in certain places and there was a limited quantity, or like there was a misprint and something like that. Like that's something somebody could walk away with. And people love gaining knowledge because they pass it off as their own.
Yeah.
And they'll be like, oh, yeah, this shirt's super rare. Like, she's fucking cross-eyed in this one or something, Like, you can't even notice it.
Yeah.
This is pre-head shave.
Yeah. Like, she got her head shaved literally the week after this photo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you're providing so much more than you probably realize.
Yeah.
By doing that. because I've passed off information I've heard from you. I'm like, when I showed you my Dolphins jacket,
Oh yeah.
and I was like, I didn't even know. I thought this was just like a regular.
It was a chalk line.
Yeah,
Yeah.
a chalk line. You're like, oh, this is the company that makes a bunch of wrestling ones.
Yeah,
And
and
like,
the company actually came back a little bit more stronger, probably like 4 or 5 years ago.
they're doing USFL now. I'm just
Oh,
kidding.
please.
What is that?
USFL, the football league, that's gonna be like thinking like in the spring.
Yeah,
I
United
don't
States
know.
Football League.
Yeah.
I don't know nothing about that.
Well, continue what you were saying. They're coming back strong.
Yeah, they're coming back strong. They're starting to print out a lot of obviously wrestling and wrestling collections, and they're also printing out like Cartoon Network, Nickelodeon, Disney, some NFL players. I think one of the rarest ones that are out there right now is a Tom Brady one.
Really?
Yeah, and I think that one got produced his last year at New England. So yeah.
That's cool. See, and I didn't know any of that. Like, when I showed you, you're like, oh, this is like really rare.
Mm-hmm.
And I told you I got it for like $60 or $50. You're like, this is like a $250 jacket.
Yeah, they especially certain colors. Obviously, Dolphins are very, very popular because of that color combo.
Yeah, it's very vibrant.
Yeah, very, very vibrant. And the ones that stand out are the Raiders, all black satin. Dodgers, all blue satin.
Cool.
Dolphins, and there's another team. Oh, the Rams.
No Angels, huh?
Yeah.
No Angels, huh?
Yeah,
Sorry,
no,
it's Freeway
no
Series
Angels.
this weekend. I'm passionate about it.
But yeah, there's a lot of information out there to be passed, and I'm not ever gonna say I know everything, and I don't want to know everything. I would like to learn more than know everything, and I don't think the learning's gonna stop, and that's the plus about this vintage.
I mean, you're like a walking encyclopedia.
Nah.
But I mean, it's missing a few editions. But
Yeah, because
like-
I don't know anything about too much on skating. Skating was a really, really big popular thing when we were growing up. Adam skated a lot, and we knew somebody personally that skated really, really well. I don't know if you remember him, Adrian Valdez.
yeah.
Yeah. The rest in peace to him. He passed away, and but he was very, very, very very, really good at everything he did, and everything that he did, he went above and beyond. It was skateboarding, basketball, but back to the skateboarding, all the graphics that I can remember that dude wore, I try to remember as best I could because I don't remember what the brand names are, but I remember the graphics.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure you can name a bunch.
I can
more
name
than
a
me.
bunch like of brands that I had and brands that I didn't get. That I wanted,
Yeah.
that I saw other people wearing, like, because another thing that was popular at that time too was Tony Hawk's Pro Skater, and
hell yeah.
you could see like you could create your own character, and you'll see like all the shirts like put him in a Zero shirt and like wearing DC shoes, and like as a kid like I want to dress like the character I just created, but sometimes you don't have access or your parents can't afford, and like now I've told you guys, but like now that we're older. This is why this is also popular, is because you can go to my Poshmark history and Zero skateboard shirts is there and like Baker shirts and like all kinds of stuff I couldn't get as a kid. And that's the same thing probably for everybody, is like, dude, I wanted this when I was a kid and my mom said no, or my dad couldn't get it, or stuff like that. So like now I have the buying power to get whatever the fuck I want to get.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, same thing.
great business for you.
I always wanted a Sean John shirt, a button up.
Oh,
I always wanted a
I had
G-Unit
one.
shirt.
The G Unit shoes.
Yeah, the G-Unit
I had a pair of
shoes.
G-Unit shoes.
Skate.
I told you about it.
Yeah.
I think, and you told me they're like super rare
Yeah,
because
they're
they
extremely,
only,
extremely rare now.
and they just fucking. There's some kid has them now.
I think the leftover stock got sent to some country.
Yeah.
It had to,
Well, they
because
dripped out
they
right now.
just vanished. And if you find a pair, they're pretty pricey right now.
They were blue suede. They almost look like Jordans.
They had pink ones too, no?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because they had the white ones. Everybody had the
look.
white ones,
Yeah.
but mine I found at the Indio Mall. I found the pair of the blue suede, and my grandma's like, "Okay, you can't clean this like a normal shoe. It's different. It's a different material." And I wore it a few times, but yeah.
Yeah, we've lived so far in this short amount of time that we've been alive. We've lived through a really, really good time with music in the early 2000s. And that's where vintage is going
Don't
right
not
now.
know.
Because like I said, there's a 20-year gap.
Yeah.
And, things in the early 2000s are starting to get its love now. And it feels really good because that's where I'm going to know a lot
Yeah.
more than a lot of people because I lived it. Did I live through a lot of this, yeah, I did. I lived through some of it, but
Carrie
not all of
Underwood.
it. But I did live through a lot of the music that my stepdad taught me, and to appreciate the music, and it made me appreciate the graphics even more.
You're like, once a Baby Bash tee comes out. But that makes sense to what I'm saying too, because
I'm finna move my body like a cyclone.
I'm still
I
waiting.
saw Baby Bash in 2014
Yeah.
in Santa Ana at the observatory for $5.
Hey, still hit, right?
Fucking phenomenal.
Still hit.
Fucking phenomenal. It's like, it's almost subconscious and instinctual that you know the lyrics.
Yeah.
And you couldn't have heard the song in 10 years.
Yeah.
But all of a sudden, Sugar Sugar comes on, and your body just takes over at that point.
Yeah.
And what are you gonna do? Not sing when there's a room full of 20 single mothers?
Yeah,
No, you're gonna sing.
You're gonna remember that little honey wearing baby fat.
Oh, bro, baby fat. The baby fat with the cat with like the tail.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
And the
Juicy Couture.
The Juicy Couture, yeah.
Oh. Oh man.
Yeah, those are good times.
You knew she was a bad bitch and she had the matching set, like not just the sweats, like. She wore the little jacket with it, the crop jacket.
And none of the rhinestones missing.
None of the rhinestones missing. She's got a white tank top underneath, hoop earrings that say maybe her nickname or something.
Yeah, Kiki.
Oh, my lord. I wonder where she's at.
Yeah. I wonder what they're all up to now.
I wonder what they're all up to now. Like educators, probably.
Yeah, she's three kids in.
She 3 kids deep. Somebody took that thing down back there.
Yeah. Still waiting.
Hey, but like shirts, it comes back, around.
It comes back around. She still got them jeans. I mean, those sweats, they don't fit, but they're there.
If she sucks it in, it could fit. I got hope.
We're gonna persevere. But it goes to what I was saying too. Like 20 years, if you think about it, wait until you're an adult for that generation to buy shit again.
Yeah.
And it's gonna be the same thing true every 20 years.
There's actually a lot of vintage collectors right now. They're actually starting to collect Angry Bird stuff.
Really?
Yeah, the Angry Birds with the actual tag on it.
Yeah.
Because how big that impacted, using tablets, using iPod touches.
Yeah.
I used it. I played Angry Bird when it first came out. It was addicting.
Yeah.
And there's some Temple Run shirts out there.
Fucking
Temple
crazy.
Run.
Temple Run in class, bro, trying to break your score.
Yeah.
Oh, God, you could get stuck for hours.
And those are just those little things, those are, like electronic, like that was just that time, that little topic. There's a lot more out there, and I'm trying to think what else impacted.
Are you trying to project? Like what?
Need for Speed Underground too.
Yeah, Need for Speed
Most Wanted.
Yeah.
Oh yes.
That's when I had on PSP. Need for Speed Most Wanted on PSP.
Yeah, PSP never gets the love it deserves.
Yeah, there's like a lot of things. And
have you found a PSP 50?
No.
Oh, please do.
No.
Please, because I don't
still
know what
looking
happened.
For the one that my mom hid from me.
Why she hid it from you?
Why?
Because I was talking back.
Oh, okay.
I thought you were going to say because you were searching some shit on there you shouldn't have been searching.
I never.
Because that's why I got to take it away too.
I never got to that point.
So I got my take away too.
I never got to that point because I didn't know what Wi-Fi was.
Neither did I. I'm over here trying to look up a UPN number.
Yeah.
And we had to be hackers, coders to figure this shit out. And nowadays kids don't know that struggle.
Yeah, it was hard.
Or a VPN number.
Yeah, because I would see my older cousin using his PSP, and he's like going on the internet and stuff. And I'm looking at mine. I'm like, what? Does he have a better one than me? But it was just the same. But I just didn't know much on it.
Did you know how dumb I looked trying to plug in my DSL
into
the PSP because I didn't know Wi-Fi was a thing?
Yeah.
And then to tell your parents, and your parents don't know more than you.
Fuck no.
You know more than them.
No, I had a stepdad growing up that knew a lot about technology, knew a lot about what was upcoming. He saw the first iPhone get released back when I was in middle school. He talked about it to me, and I just looked at him and I said, "That's stupid."
Hey, that'll never get anywhere.
He's all, cool story, bro. Did you invest in Apple? No?
Yeah.
Fucking loser.
Yeah, I'm a person that doesn't really like technology as much, but obviously we're forced to use it. It's day-to-day thing.
It's disgusting.
To me it is, but now I'm behind because I don't even know how to use a damn desktop now.
Oh, that's a problem.
Yeah, that's a problem.
Yeah. I mean, look, something my dad says, don't hate the player, hate the game.
Yeah.
And you have to play the game, though.
I hated the play. For 12 years of school, I avoided computers as best I could, and I regret it now.
And then your ass was in what was the remedial? I had to do it in my senior year.
Computer science?
No. The remedial where you would do all your courses
on
that you
the
failed
computer.
on the computer. It wasn't ACES or
I think it was. No.
was it ACES?
No, it's not ACES. It was some. No, ACES was the program.
Apex.
There you go.
Hey, and then you're in Apex,
Yeah.
having to pass your classes so you could just
Yep.
fucking graduate.
You want to look like a fucking chimpanzee on a fucking computer, not knowing
When all you
how
had to
use it.
do really was just get whatever assignment done that day, and you're playing Halo the rest of the period.
Oh yeah.
That's
Oh,
what I had to do.
Hey, Halo was a vibe too.
Halo took
Halo?
3 years of my life.
Halo, Call of Duty.
I never got into Halo. I was big on Madden.
Oh yeah, man.
I was like- Everybody either one or the other. Sometimes you were both. Like you were playing Madden and Halo. For me, it was just Madden all the time.
and that just right now reminded me of something that I'm actually looking for in vintage. I'm looking for a Blitz 2000 shirt.
Oh,
That
shit.
game, bro.
Yeah, that was me and my stepdad, my sister. We played that game so much.
That was
growing
such a
up.
hard ass game.
When you could shoot up your player with steroids,
Yeah.
during the game and cortisone shots and like and
Oh
then
no, you're thinking about Blitz the League.
yeah, I'm thinking about Blitz the League.
What did I? I said Blitz 2000, the
Oh.
older, the arcade one.
Oh, the arcade
Yeah,
one.
not the one where they're shooting up drugs and you get magazines of women on it.
Oh no, and then you could also, I don't know if you knew this. Fun fact, my player Blitz the League, you could go and fuck women on there.
I didn't go that far.
Yeah,
too.
bro, you could
this
go,
was San Andreas before San Andreas.
this was the same time period.
Really?
Like you could go out at night clubbing and shit, and then like it'll allude to like you could go like right for like how to respond, and
You feel the
motherfucker spitting
remote
game,
vibrate?
and then goes into the back room. The remote just starts vibrating,
Hey.
and you don't know what's really going on. But then you realize like, oh, they're fucking back there.
Hey, bro, the older I get, the more I realize when we were younger, everybody was just horny.
Yeah. But well, yeah, the early 2000 music was all club bangers.
All horny.
And
All horny times.
still holds up to the test of time.
Hey,
Yes, it did.
It'll never end.
You know what
Those
never gets
songs.
old?
Huh?
Apparently, that's the one thing that'll never get old.
No, it won't.
People being horny.
Yeah, little,
People will be.
Lil
That was the
Wayne
first
will
profession.
Little Wayne will never get old.
Argue it's the most consistent.
It's the longest profession. It was the first profession. Is
Great sales.
capitalizing off people being horny.
Yeah, sex sells.
It always will, always will. What were we talking about?
Oh, we're
Let's-
just no. You're talking about how I think you wanted to look up vintage for Blitz.
For Blitz, yeah.
2000.
Yeah, and that's
Which I'm sure is hard to
yeah,
find.
it's a really, really rare shirt, especially in big boy size. It's pretty hard to find.
Were you just finding personal for yourself?
Yeah, I try to look for some personals for myself. I really can't find it because of the measurements that I have. It's a stretched out X or a stretched out 2X. I
Okay.
can't wear a brand new 2X unless I really, really, really stretch it.
Yeah.
But I want things that are just rare. I want things that are just unique to my childhood, to what I could, reminisce on.
Yeah.
And the dragon has no connection to my childhood, but it was one of those first all over print shirts that I saw that I just fell in love with.
It's a hell of a conversation starter. It grabs attention.
Yeah, it is.
I can't stop looking at it, honestly.
Yeah. It pops out the screen.
Yeah, I have
Please,
this.
it'll pop it and attack me.
I have this old King Kong shirt from 1994. It's a ride in Universal, and my connection to King Kong is Godzilla. I can't find that many Godzilla shirts in my size, so I have to go the next route, which is King Kong. And the shirt
Yo,
that
I hate King Kong.
I really hate King
As
Kong.
a Godzilla lover, I hate King
I-
Kong.
and
Well, it's
I've-
true. You got
I-
there's two camps.
I've made a hat. I got it embroidered on the side. It says "Fu Kong." 'Cause I genuinely do not.
Until
like
you
King
come
Kong.
across a guy named Kong.
He's like, hey yo,
Yeah.
and Kong doesn't sound like he'd be a small man.
No.
He earned that name by being that big and beating the shit out of somebody.
Yeah, it was a lot of emotions were running in me when I saw that new brand new movie, the recent one. Godzilla.
Oh, we saw him.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we
it
saw
was-
it.
I saw we saw Godzilla versus Kong.
Yeah, it sucks because I was watching it and I already knew what was gonna happen.
We always do.
I already know like one's not gonna win.
Yeah.
But I'm like, who's gonna be the loser?
Yeah.
And it was just very emotional. It was back and forth. I know this little conversation I'm having right now doesn't matter, but it goes back to my childhood of me loving Godzilla, me loving what it brought to me. My stepdad, not letting me, but he just brought it into my attention, like the old black and white films, and he would just be laughing. And me personally, I never saw a guy in a suit in those old black and white films of
No.
Godzilla. All I saw was a lizard type dinosaur looking thing, stomping out
What a
buildings.
kid would notice.
Yeah, and I, now if I watch that now,
you look at it different.
It's complete comedy to me. It's funny.
Yeah.
But I think that's a cool thing though, like about you doing ventures. Like everything's always nostalgia. Like that's and guess what? That's the one thing I'll never go out of style is nostalgia.
Yeah.
It's always gonna be there for people.
And it's cool because it's like at random that these things are gonna mean to different people, and I don't know what the story's gonna be, and that's what I really enjoy and why I really do this is to hear those stories, to hear why they're gravitating towards this shirt. Like, what did you experience in your lifetime that I never got to see? So I'm ready to listen and ask questions.
Just a man of the people.
Such a well-rounded individual.
I wasn't always well-rounded.
Oh no, we remember.
Yeah,
I've known you since elementary school.
Yeah. I've always been a knucklehead. I've always wanted the light on me. I've always wanted attention. I've always wanted, something out of some area that I was hanging out at.
Do you look back at your old self and you're all, damn, I wish I could punch you in the face right now?
No.
Oh no?
Okay. I wouldn't be who I am today if I didn't experience that.
No, absolutely, but like still.
But sometimes I look back and I'm like, God, you're fucking annoying.
Yeah.
When I think about you, I'm just kidding.
Not me. I was great.
I was perfect.
I was perfect the whole time.
Nah, when I think about myself, I'm like, that's just the part about growth, though.
Yeah.
Is like if you're the same person you were in 2005, you must be a shitty person right now. Like you can't.
We were in the 5th grade in 2005.
Yeah, like you could have the same principles. Yeah. Like you have integrity, you're honest, like, but grow, experience life. If you're not experiencing life, you're just
pissing it away.
Yeah.
Hey, most people are content, and I'm just saying it because it's what I see. They're really just content on what they want to do, their day-to-day thing, and it's perfectly fine.
I think there's a beauty in simplicity as well.
Yeah.
I think there's something for that.
There is, but when it comes,
you still have to make some risks and have some venture. Like
and when
that's the hard one.
When I got bit by that spider, when I experienced these things alone,
you got superpowers to thrift.
Yeah,
you got the spidey senses.
I went thrifting for 3 months
senses.
straight before even coming up with an idea of Return of the Goods. I just went out because
in the middle of the night.
No. I just would go off on my
to fight crime.
I would go
to fight these resellers and their outrageous prices.
So I would just.
He's like, I came up with a great idea. I want to undercut every single one of them and run them out of business.
Yeah. So
that's how I fight crime from the inside. I infiltrated the system.
For 3 months in, let me talk. For 3 months in it was July, August, and September. I would just go out thrifting. I would go out of state, and I would just start picking. It was just I would pick things not in my size, but I would pick things that I would remember and things that I know of or the things that I've experienced. And when it got to the point where I decided to sell, the first time that I sold was October 2nd, 2020. It just felt really, really good because people were just telling me stories. I could hear people talking amongst themselves and just saying like, oh my God, do you remember when my dad wore this? Oh my God, do you remember when our mom took us to go see this person? And me hearing those things just it just put more fuel in me, more fuel in the tank, and it just kept on going. And the sad part about it is that for almost 2 years I've had my foot on the gas completely and never really taken time. Like, this is my 4th collection that I'm giving out, or that I've brought to the Coachella Valley. This one's actually teaching me a lot more than those other 3. This one's my first collection that I'm curated by myself. I used to have a business partner. We're no longer together, and now I'm starting to realize that when you are by yourself and doing things on yourself, you just start to learn about yourself. And what I'm learning is that I need to give myself a break. I need to give myself some time for me and my son. I need to give time to my family. And I'm glad that I'm going through this little hurdle, this little obstacle that I'm going through with this collection, because I know, and they've told me off camera before we started, that this collection is probably going to give me that spark back into it, that groove, the motion that I need. And I do need that motion again. I do need that spark again. And, you know, don't ever be afraid to talk about mental health. Don't ever be afraid to express your feelings, and don't ever be afraid to say you actually need someone, or if, you know, you need an outlet to, or you need someone to talk to, a shoulder to cry on, someone to hug. Because I could tell you, ever since I started this new experience with the Return of the Goods, getting bit by that spider, I've been more in tune of just expressing myself way, way more. And I spoke to Adam before we started this. I was telling Arturo that if I never sold these t-shirts, me and this dude would never come across our past. Reconnect.
Yeah.
We will never reconnect ever. And I grew up knowing him, seeing him. He's a dude that had spiky hair. That was
Slipknot tees.
Yeah, Slipknot tees, and skateboard all the time, all around chill dude. And he's still the same person, but I know he's grown a lot from his past experience. This dude I hardly know, but I played football with him.
Football. That's as much as we needed him.
But yeah, I think everybody should. This is my suggestion. I'm not telling everybody to do it, but I suggest people speak more about their feelings, speak more on how they feel, speak more on what they want in life, and also speak on the negatives that they have in life.
Yeah.
So.
Don't act like they're not there.
Yeah.
We know what our negatives are if we were to sit around in silence long enough.
Yeah.
And you take that time to reflect. There's a lot to unpack with what you said, but the main thing is like, we're big advocates of mental health. We always preach that. Always check in with your friends, your strong friend, the friend that always checks in on you. You should check in with, and we're not always the best at that, but I mean, we try.
Yeah. And I think the important thing is, I don't mean to cut you off, is like that healthy balance, because like the way I always think about it with Adam and I is everything we do most of the time is going to be based around like business, whether we have designs or other business ventures we have going on, but we never forget to like, okay, we're still going to do like out of town trips. We're still going to, after this collection, we're going to go celebrate like that.
Yeah. You guys make it look really easy.
It's fucking not.
It's not easy, but yeah, but it's not, but it's one of those things of like, hindsight's always 20/20, but I've always kind of learned that after I came home back from college, of like how fast time after my tour, after I was recruited back. I mean, I don't want to say I'm doing big things out here, but I'm not. But just about how fast time goes, and I'd hate for me to come back and not take advantage of that time. Like we still love doing what we do, and there's a lot of things we like doing, and you would think like even though we're like 6-7 hours a day doing this, we would be tired of still going out or going to plan a trip, but that energy is always there because you need to have that balance.
Yeah. And I think a really good song to listen to is Pink Floyd, Dark Side of the Moon, Time.
Yeah.
That's a really, really good song.
I think it's the second song on the album.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's
second or third song, if my memory serves me right.
If you really pay attention to that song, and you've got a couple years on you, a couple years of experience, to really listen and, you know, take the time to pay attention to it, it teaches you something. You know, you're always, you know, if you're in a rut, you're always looking 10 years back. And if you're still doing that same thing, you're not going to progress into anything. And I'm pretty sure that's what I get from that song. That you kind of just waste your time away, and 10 years already gone by, and you're still around the same watering hole. That's why I see that song as well, that people are at a watering hole. People are at the local bar. I'm not saying being at the local bar is, you know, completely bad.
Yeah, because there's something still good about community.
Yeah.
And be in touch with that.
Yeah, but sometimes seeing that regular is always kind of depressing when you haven't been there in a month or two.
Yeah.
And you're still seeing that person.
Try not going there in 2 years. I did this recently. Try not going there in 2 years and then go.
Yeah.
Because, you know, back when I was a hot boy, we'd start at Drink and then make our way to downtown Palm Springs.
Nasty times.
And I went to Drink recently, and I saw the same people there, but they didn't look how they looked 2 years ago.
Oh, no.
And you look, and you're like, oh, fuck, like,
the years have not been
the
nice.
years have not been nice, or you've gone through something, or you're still, like, you're not realizing, like, you're here, and this is what's causing you to not progress, is, like, you're probably still here every Friday, every Saturday, you're probably at Pinocchio's every Sunday, and you're just perpetually...
Fire brunch, though.
fire brunch. It's not meant to be had every Sunday.
No, I can't do that.
It's like you're in this perpetual state of just a cycle of like
Distraction.
Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. I'm just trying to make it to Friday to get so drunk that I forget Monday through Thursday.
And when people set themselves with that goal, from what I'm noticing, because I'm guilty to it, I used to set myself up to that goal. Like, oh my God, it's my Friday. I'm gonna go unwind and go to the bar, casino, club, and just let it all loose.
Get kicked out of here.
Get kicked out. Knowing me, because I like to fight, but I've always fought for the reasons that I thought that were good.
Yeah,
to
dude,
defend
I know
women.
you're a maskless vigilante or maskless vigilante trying to slash prices out here.
Fighting
to protect women.
You're fighting the good fight.
Yeah.
And to go back on, being in that cycle of just trying to reward yourself by just consuming something that's just going to make you feel like shit the next day. Mm-hmm. I'm not saying drinking's completely bad, but it's made my life a little bit easier since I quit drinking.
Same.
And, I feel like, but this is where my conspiracy kicks in, these things were made to have kind of like a stop in society, kind of like a little thinking that it's a disconnection from society, but in reality it's just a little thing that's just...
Now you're talking like Furious from Friday.
I know.
Or Boys in the Hood.
Is that what they
said? He's like, why do you think there's a liquor store and gun store in every corner?
Oh, that's right.
I know that speech.
They don't want us to progress.
They don't want us to progress.
They just want us... They're out here want us to kill each other.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's the way I see it. That's the way I like to take it. And nobody needs to take it my way. Nobody needs to believe it my way. And that's the beauty of life, that we have our own paths.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And my path right now is to try to keep on expressing myself as best I could. And if it's with T-shirts, and if it's with having a conversation.
Stories about your T-shirts.
Stories about my T-shirts. If it's like even asking questions, even a better story. You're going to get a way better story because you're not going to even know what they went through. And it's always best to just ask someone than just to judge someone. Mm-hmm. And I feel like back to the clubs and bars and everything, that's where people go to judge. That's where people go to relieve themselves.
Yeah. I'll say this, from a person that used to be at bars very frequent, a lot of times it's the most unhappy people there.
Yeah.
And I can tell. But the thing is, you couldn't tell at the time because you were equally as unhappy.
And you're as equally as inebriated.
Yeah, so you don't even notice one thing to another, but like being there sober, or even if you're just there to have a casual like drink or two, like it's not gonna do shit to you, but you're still looking at everybody just like, oh, they're good. They're going off the wagon right now. Oh, I know where this is going.
Yeah.
It's a shame to see.
I've been a DD with my cousin, taking them to like local bars, casinos, clubs, and I've been 100% sober, and I take a seat back and I'm looking at everybody, and I'm judging as well. So I feel like those places are literally meant to be places to be having judgment towards.
It's supposed to be. Everybody thinks it's a judge-free zone. Like we're all here to have a good time.
Yeah.
No, you're not.
Yeah.
You're here to try to make yourself look better. Yeah. Or why I should be on you. Why you should pick up that girl. That girl should flirt with you, or she could pick up that dude. It's superficial.
It's a lot of peacocking.
Yeah.
Yeah, and there's a lot of work that goes into going out, and I'm guilty to it as well. Getting a fresh cut, getting a fresh tee, getting fresh shoes on,
I mean, you can still do that.
You can still do that for yourself.
I know.
And then go like to Everbloom.
We do that, and we pull up a chair at Everbloom.
It's just
go to Gabina.
like you guys are all into fashion. I'm somewhat into fashion, and like people just give it their all when they go out that one night. Mm-hmm. Like they literally give it their all. Their paycheck, if that's all the paycheck that they got that week, they'll give it their all, and they'll keep.
That I will not do.
Yeah, they'll just keep doing that, and keep doing that, and keep doing that, and it's sad to see when you know somebody personally that just keep on going down that hole.
Yeah.
And do positive things really happen at those hours?
Nothing good happens after 2:00. I learned that from How I Met Your Mother.
Is that what happened? I don't know.
I mean, nothing good happens after 2
a.m. Oh, really?
Yeah. Nothing good happens after 2 a.m.
I think Ted's mom said that.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it's 100% true.
Some great stories have come from it, but it was nothing good.
Yeah, it's 100% true.
Some great stories. Nothing good and nothing worth speaking about.
But then that follows with sad times. Mm-hmm. But then more great.
And it's a miserable 9 a.m.
Yeah. And if I did
know where your shoes are.
And if I did those things, doing the walk of shame, and if I did those things still, I wouldn't have time to be doing none of this for my community because, like I said before, none of this shit fits me. So it's not for me.
And that's why you find so much good shit, because it's not for you.
Yeah, and that's the cool part about it.
And that's why you can't find Godzilla tees, because you're looking for your fucking self. Yeah.
Maybe if you stop looking for them, you probably find
or
them.
Someone's gonna be like, you're gonna come to a trade with somebody, and you're gonna look at their collection, and he's like, honestly, dude, you know what I can't get rid of? It's this fucking Godzilla tees that I have. And you're just gonna be like, oh, word? Yeah, they're just nothing but 2X's that have been worn out. They're not stiff, they're wide.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh yeah?
How much you want?
How much do you want? Before he even says it's sold.
Yeah.
I'll pay whatever.
And right now, I'm tired of finding music tees, and that's what I've been finding these last 2 weeks. Nothing but music tees.
Sometimes you just can't escape that
Okay.
reality.
What number do you think you're at on music tees?
I think I'm at 130.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah. The most I've ever collected on a collection was 170 pieces plus. And that was a Nike collection that I had at Everbloom Coffee.
And that was a shock to me that you were able to find that much Nike, because I feel like people don't get rid of Nike a lot.
Yeah.
I'm a Nike guy. I'm Nike over Adidas and everything else. It's like I really
over Under Armour?
over Under. You know, the only thing I ever wanted from Under Armour was those Cam Newton cleats.
Yeah.
Those are the only thing I ever wanted from
And
Under Armour.
the Under Armour compression shirt.
The compression
under
shirt,
the
yeah,
jersey.
the dry fit. But yeah, I'm always Nike. So it's like, even when it comes to like, I'm done with like this Nike shirt, I just turn it into a gym shirt. And if not, like, it's still like that, the shirt's on its last life before I like donate it.
Yeah, how I had that much in the collections, because I started collecting in the summer of last year in June. And it was right after my second collection, which was a 1996 Atlanta collection. That one didn't do as good as I thought it was, but it was good to still have it in the rotation.
The 96 Olympics in Atlanta.
What did I say?
You know, I was just giving more information.
okay.
You didn't say it was the Olympics. You just said
the
1996 Atlanta collection.
What went on in Atlanta?
A lot of shit went on in Atlanta. That was the Dirty Bird era, too.
Yes, it was.
And as soon as that collection was over with, the Olympics, I just had this feeling that this Nike collection, that I should be collecting Nike for a Nike collection, because I just had a feeling that in the winter time, everybody's just gonna want Nike, and that's what everybody wants. Everybody wants a Nike hoodie. Everybody wants a Nike zip up, a Nike puffer, Nike shirt. We have the luxury of, in the winters out here, we could wear T-shirts.
Yeah.
During the day, and I just kept on telling myself, just hoard Nike. Keep on hoarding it. Keep on hoarding it. And these bangers that you keep finding, these somewhat grails, take them to collectors and see, but get their stock of Nike. And that's how I met people a lot, and that's how I build my relationships throughout that I have now. Is because it started with that Nike collection. Like, they would always ask me, "Why do you want this? Why do you want this, this, and that?" I'm just like, "Oh, I'm just collecting Nike for now." And Nike at that time period last year in the summer was like practically at its lowest. And then Nike started to pick up in October, November, and December it was at its peak. And that's when I released it, December 4th. At Everbloom Coffee, and I actually had a line of 10 people line up, and it was the very, very first time that I had anybody line up for Return of the Goods, and I gave the first person a gift card to Everbloom. I gave him, I told him, there's a couple bucks off your purchase, and he actually gave me more money on top because he enjoyed the things that I do and he appreciates the things that I do. I forgot your name. You probably won't. Yes, you will watch this, but
hey, but you left an impression. That's all.
I'm still trying to get that. What is that? The disposable cameras. What is that company?
Polaroid?
No, the other one.
Oh, just a disposable camera. You mean like the film?
No, the company that made them back in the yellow. Kodak. He's looking for a Kodak NASCAR shirt.
Oh, I see.
And I'm still looking for it.
In the works for almost a year.
Yeah.
Hey, so it'll happen
still in the work. It'll happen.
Yeah.
That's all then.
Yeah.
So, what else now?
What else now?
Yeah.
I would say, I mean, we've
gone for almost an hour and a half.
Yeah, like we're hour 15 in. Unless, because I know you're like on your little, you're doing a break and kind of figuring things out right now. Do you have anything you want to announce in terms of like, like in the coming months, like you'll probably see this come up or this come up?
The next couple months, Return of the Goods is only going to have 2 pop-ups per month now.
2 per month. Got it.
Yeah, I'm not going to go any more, any less. Private appointments are still kind of iffy right now, and I just want to give more of a better
Customer experience.
catalog of what I have
Oh.
in my racks. Like, before I used to have 6 to 5 racks full of things, full of things. Now I want to be very selective. I want to be also very selective where I go, because there are some places and some markets out here that are really not that good, and some of them are not what they used to be.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to do more I want to be more in touch with actual businesses, local businesses, than just being in a parking lot, than just being, just somewhere where nobody really appreciates you.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm telling myself right now I need a break, but there's a guy who owns the Marathon Barbershop in La Quinta Cove,
Mm-hmm.
and he actually met me when I was walking out of Finders Keepers record store in the Cove, and he asked me if I could do a pop-up at his place, and he sees what I'm doing. He sees that it's like a really good thing, and this is the very first time that someone's actually asked, how much do you charge? And that felt really good.
Yeah.
And I told him really quick, I don't charge anything. I'm for the community, by the community. And
But now that you bring that up,
yeah, and
I will require some Domino's pizza.
No, I told him, like, yeah, if you really, really want to do it, I'll break my 2-week silence that I'm taking right now.
Your vow of silence.
Yeah, my break that I was supposedly
Yeah.
gonna take. But if somebody notices something that I'm doing, wants me to be there, I'll be there. Am I gonna be there at full capacity of what I want to provide? Possibly not, but I'm gonna give you some fresh things that I've been holding back on. And this is my very first time in a barbershop.
Mm-hmm.
And last year I did a pop-up at a barbershop competition event,
Oh.
and none of the barbers were messing with vintage.
Huh.
None of them completely. They're
Really?
just looking at it and just saying, like, oh, is it new? And they said no, and they're like, I don't want to deal with it. Now these guys
Now they're coming around.
Now they're coming around, and that's really cool, because now they're starting to see, like, you know what, I really don't need to be buying, Gucci. I don't really need to be buying,
Yeah.
Louis Vuitton all the time.
Because that's what like I always associated, like, fresh haircut. Like, you see, like, those people with, like, the Gucci belts.
Yeah.
And, like, yeah.
Yeah, the Edgar cuts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Louis wallet with no money in it, max out credit card.
Yeah. Probably EBT card in
Yeah,
there.
using his
No
lady's
disrespect
car,
against EBT.
Yeah.
his lady's maximum.
His lady's maxima.
The Heltima.
The Heltima.
But yeah.
But so that's what you. Okay, that's
Yeah.
that's good. So more structure, 2 pop-ups, more
Mhm.
balance, work life. But like kind of what I got out of this is you're gonna do quality more now versus quantity.
Yeah, way breaking it down to probably like 2 to 3 racks. Not right now. A rack is going away because of no more outerwear. So
Okay,
I have
yeah.
all these hoodies and jackets. So that's getting pulled back, and obviously I need to refill that one. And that's where this collection is going to go, because I know I'm not going to sell all this at one night. So this is just going to trickle down throughout the year.
Not with that attitude.
Yeah. It's I've been through it. This is going to be my 4th time going through it. Nike collection didn't last. That's one thing that did not last.
I was not expecting it to last.
Yeah, and right now I'm actually
Trying to get more.
I'm hoarding Nike right now as we speak
Oh, nice.
to work on it in December.
Yeah.
And Return of the Goods is still going, but it's going at a certain pace now.
Certain pace.
You're adapting.
Yeah,
You're evolving. I mean, that's a big thing with any endeavor, is that usually that first year is learning the field and learning what works for you.
Yeah.
And then after that, it's kind of like you get down your formula, and then you take your shots here and there. You experiment,
Yeah.
but
Yeah, that's you hit it real good, because I have like this little
I aim to do that.
I have this little good catalog that it's NASCAR, Harley, obviously sports, college, anything that revolves around those things. Those are number 1 sales. Like, they just move so quick.
Mm-hmm.
What I really, really want to get into right now, on top of these collections, is just have more unique pieces. Like, I want to start getting into a little bit of the 80s, a little bit. And there's a certain community that focuses just on the 80 vintage. Sometimes it's called true vintage. And I want to focus on it a little bit, not too much, but just like very, very pop culture things.
Yeah.
That's what I want to, bring to the table. But
It wouldn't be like a majority of it, but you would love to have like a rack of like,
Yeah.
okay, these are very interesting pieces.
yeah, and that's where the learning keeps on going.
Mhm.
I'm not, going to stop. I just want to keep on adapting and trying new things. And another thing that I'm actually rolling out in the summer, because it is going to get very hot and I'm not going to be active in a lot of pop-ups, but I am going to start cleaning sneakers.
Ooh.
Yeah, and I used to have a sneaker cleaning business back in 2016, 17, and it was going somewhere. My son came into my life, kind of stopped me a little bit from doing it because priorities change.
You have to be a dad.
Yeah, I have to be a dad, and yeah, I got dirty sneakers right now, but I could easily clean them. And this guy right here is.
I got one pair clean, gave it new life, rejuvenated. They were my beaters.
Yeah, and
Not no more.
then that's what I want to provide a little bit in the summer is you can get your shoes clean. I'll come up with an idea of still having private appointments. You pick up your shoes, drop off your shoes. You can go through the racks, and still.
That's kind of cool.
Yeah, and
I like that.
And just try to keep things a little bit fresh, because I could honestly say I'm kind of tired of this right now.
Mm-hmm.
But am I gonna stop? No, I'm not. But I
Yeah.
am a little bit tired.
Mm-hmm. I mean that happens.
Mm-hmm.
Things if you'll get into the repetitive nature of it, in that I hate getting into routines.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Structure's one thing, but
Yeah,
the same monotonous routine, yeah.
drive me insane.
Mhm.
Drive me insane. I need to see new things. I need to see new faces. I need to hear new stories. I need to do something. I can't just same thing. And
Yeah.
I notice when I do get in a routine, that's probably in my life been the most miserable. When I look back was when I was just in a routine without even realizing it.
Yeah, and that's part of the reasons why I go out of town a lot. I like to travel a lot, and because out here in the valley you can only do so much thrifting.
Yeah.
And now I'm getting into estate sales.
Yeah.
And it feels good, waking up really, really early, trying to be that first person in line. Sometimes I'm not. There's always a señora with a little wooden chair that's always there before me, and I'm showing up like at 6, sometimes 6:30. And
She's like, you don't want this bad enough.
Yeah.
yeah, and I'm always the last 2 months, going on 3 months that I've been going to estate sales, I've been in like the top 5, and it's really, really cool because those top 10 people that I'm meeting are starting to be my friends. They're starting to know my real name, because I really don't give out my first name a lot. But in that community right now, I'm just saying my name is Daniel, and I'm not just saying, oh, my name's Mata, because
You want to do what to me?
because I'd rather show them like who Daniel is.
Yeah.
I'd rather show them who Daniel Ryan
Daniel's
Mata
son.
is. Yeah.
Oh, y'all just buying coffee and donuts for each other. Y'all
Yeah.
just a little.
And it's really cool because you get to see like also competitiveness in it, because everybody's always asking each other, what are you looking for? And then there's people that don't want to answer. There's people that look down to the ground. There's people who just roll their eyes and they lie, and it's fun because it's like a new community that I'm getting into, but it's still involved with this.
Yeah, and it's like a new thrill.
Yeah.
Like, especially like that competitiveness.
Yeah, and I'm not so running or driving to the thrift stores all day. I'm not racing to the next one. I'm not trying to beat someone who I think it's there. I'm just literally taking my time,
Doing it at your own pace.
doing it at my own pace, because before I was doing it, like I said, just my foot on the gas, and I was everywhere. And even the person that used to be a part of Return of the Goods, he also told me that he could see me doing this full time, and I don't want to.
Yeah.
That's
It's
cool.
tough. It's tough.
That's cool that he could see me doing it full time, that I'm actually building connections, relationships with people to make it a full time thing. But I don't want it to be a full time thing. I still want to enjoy what's to come. You know, I know that this is going to go somewhere, and if it does, I'm glad that I learned from it.
That's the beauty in it, kind of like what we were talking about earlier with people being content with their 9-to-5 job, because for lack of a better way to put it, there's ignorance and bliss. They don't know what else is there.
They don't know what they don't know.
They don't know what they don't know. So if you don't go full time, then you have that, you're content with the ignorance of, I don't know what it's like to do full time vintage, but I'm happy with doing this part time. I'm happy to do this as a hobby. But I'll never know the struggle of the guy that has to make a certain amount of sales each day to pay his rent.
Yeah.
I don't know the struggle of that.
Yeah,
I'm free of that.
And I've met those people who have this as a 24-hour thing, and I try to give them my best experience and information passed down to them, and just teach them how to have customer service, teach them how to set up their pop-ups, teach them how to advertise, teach them just how to be a little bit more tapped into the communities. And a lot of those people that I'm helping are out of town. Mm-hmm. There's one guy in Riverside, there's one guy in San Bernardino, and one of them actually comes down from San Bernardino, and he sells at one of the markets at Thriftology, at our open air market. And I know 100% what he's in it for. I know 100% why he's doing it. And if I'm like a little piece of help to him, because there are kids involved, he has 2 kids, it makes me feel a little bit more better than just being very selfish with this information.
Yeah.
And I've helped multiple businesses, small businesses out here in the valley, and just teaching them, showing them. And one of them that's really thriving right now is Cool Cat Thrift. Her name's Yami, and I went full in and trying to help her, full in and teaching her that she could sell outside of Instagram and be a person, be a face to her brand. And everywhere she goes, she kills it. She's almost surpassing me right now in followers.
Damn.
And none of that matters to me, but it matters that she's doing really, really good at a really good pace, a really good pace.
Yeah. Well, knowledge isn't meant to be kept; it's meant to be shared.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
change your name to Return of the Knowledge.
No. And the people, back to the estate sales, the people that I'm meeting there are starting to drop knowledge on me, on furniture, on paintings, on just like random things that I've never paid attention to. Never. And I see them every day at the thrift store.
Yeah.
Hey, he's going to start antiquing after a while.
Yeah. I'm going to be on, what is it, Auction Hunters?
American Pickers.
American Pickers. What's
I love that show.
Is that what this show is? Yeah. I'm going to be on that show one day, probably.
Maybe. If you try hard enough.
With the attitude, you will.
No, I don't want to.
Maybe Antique Roadshow.
Yeah. No.
That's cool though. Well, I look forward to seeing the new it wouldn't be a venture, but the new approach of Return of the Goods, the new more exclusivity, quality over quantity.
Yeah.
And more success, bro.
Yeah, and I know I probably look like a weirdo, like
you do, but that's not the point.
Vintage.
That's how you know you're gonna have good stuff, though.
The vintage community likes to give people who act out of, get out of line or speak their mind. We end up looking like weirdos, and I'm glad to be a weirdo today.
Hey, if you can own it, that's all that matters.
If my vintage guy isn't wearing a dragon all over print shirt,
I know his shit's gonna be trash.
If he's wearing a Supreme tee and he's trying to sell me vintage,
it's not the guy I want. It's not the guy for me.
I met those guys.
Obviously, what that shows me is you're selling this vintage tee to me to buy a Supreme tee.
Yeah, that or a bottle of Hennessy that night.
Both, maybe. If they sell enough.
Yeah, and with a lot of the money that Return of the Goods makes, it actually goes right back into it.
Mm-hmm. Like reinvesting.
Yeah.
Better.
Shirts, yeah. It pays for some shoes. It pays for some shirts of mine. It pays for help out a little bit of bills here and there, but in reality, it just keeps on cycling itself. And how is it that the guy who doesn't take this full time has this?
But it helps pay some bills.
Yeah,
it does. It does exactly probably what it should do.
Yeah.
Because you're not in it for the money.
No. Far from it being in the money. I just want to give back to my community the best I can, the best way I can express myself, the best way I can communicate to people. Because not everybody has their own way of communication, and this is my form of communication for right now in this chapter of my life. I'm not saying I'm 100% into this. I'm not saying that I'm consumed by this. I'm not saying that I'm addicted to this. But for right now, this is what's making me happy.
As it should.
And that's all that matters. Whatever makes you happy. Do more of that. Do more of what makes you happy.
Yeah.
Do more what makes you happy. Better mental health, better physical health.
And if you're going to say something, out in public, or say it to your family, say it to your friends, and you say you want to do something, just go and do it. Don't be afraid to fail.
As a person that did that, it's a lot. It takes a lot of mental fortitude and courage to do what your idea is. A lot of times when you speak an idea, you want to hear if that idea is okay.
Yeah.
If that people accept your idea.
Yeah, it's going to be well received.
And I'll be honest,
Most time it won't.
it won't be.
Yeah.
But what is well received is a tangible success of it. You being happy, you making an impact in people's lives, which you have.
And it just didn't take me to do this. It took a lot of people, and they're still in my life right now. And there's one man who doesn't like taking the credit, and his name is EJ, one of the owners of Everbloom. And he was the one that kind of made me realize and see that I do have something. I actually do have something going. I actually do have something for the community. I actually do have something positive that's just fresh, new, and different to the Valley. And I'm gonna give him a little bit of praise.
Just a little bit.
Thank you, EJ.
Shout out EJ. Shout out Everbloom.
He's got to make it all the way to the end of the episode to hear that.
Good.
He has
I'm
to
glad.
listen to it.
He has to listen to it. Check in with him on Friday if he heard, like, did you hear what I said about you on the podcast?
He's all,
Don't tell him
"What?"
when.
Yeah.
Just say, did you hear what I said about you?
Hey, you're gonna have to go listen to the episode and find out.
And a quick little thing: if you made it this far, and if you're the first person to write Gap Band Outstanding, you're gonna be the first person to get 100 free credit off of the.
Write it where?
Huh?
Write it where? Write it.
In the comments below.
Oh.
Yeah.
Wait, 100 off what?
Just credit.
Credit. You can get any of these things. If it's 100, if it's 80, if it's 50.
We know when this goes live.
As a person that publishes this episode.
Are we out of the
Yeah,
rails?
you guys are out of it.
Ah,
Shit.
fuck.
Yeah. So
I
Simp
hate to play-
69.
Well, you don't know who I know.
Simp 69. You gotta keep those comments to yourself.
But Pussy Destroyer 69 is a different person.
But yeah, if you're the first person that writes Gap Band Outstanding, you're the first person, or you're the person that wins
The $100.
Damn, I know the person who's gonna win it.
Yeah.
I know it.
Yeah, and
You know.
that song is my favorite song.
You
Like,
can play that
whenever-
song anywhere.
Yeah,
and
anywhere.
it'll immediately change the mood.
Yeah, either someone passed away, someone's birthday, someone that just got divorced, someone.
Fucking Circle of Life.
The
just had a
cookout's getting a
kid.
little rowdy.
Yeah, it's a song that I grew up listening to that just made me feel really, really happy. Like,
Influenced by a lot of cocaine.
yeah, but
No, not you. I'm talking about the music.
Yeah.
oh yeah,
The
the
guys that
music.
were making the song.
Yeah, salute to them.
Salute to them because they were on the Colombian Bam Bam.
Purest of stuff.
Yeah, the booger sugar.
The Booger Sugar.
Yeah,
The White Pony.
the white clams.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's
White Lines.
I'll stop.
It's a good song. But yeah, that's it. That's all I gotta say right now.
Well, on that note, thank you for coming on the pod. We've been trying to get you on for about a year.
I feel like I didn't deserve it.
I mean,
It was well
you're a
deserved.
self-deprecating
Well
man, but
deserved,
we're
don't
trying
worry.
to give you a platform and show you that the impact that you've done
Uh-huh.
in that time. You've deserved it. If we're offering it, as a listener, we don't offer our space up to.
Yeah, you guys
anybody.
don't. Yeah, but thank you and I appreciate everything.
Thank you for coming on.
And thank you for whoever made it this far, listening to the shit that I gotta say.
And thank you to the person that's gonna win.
Yeah.
So with
salute
that
to
being
you.
said, comment, like, subscribe. We should have said this at the beginning of the episode. We fucked up.
Yeah.
But if you do comment, you know what to comment, and you're going to be the first one. So now you got an incentive to do it.
Bye.
With that being
With that being said,
we love y'all. Miss y'all. Peace.
later.